this fabulous message, this wonderful bit of wonderful gospel today. And how exciting it is to stand here at the altar. I cannot tell you how happy I am to be here in this place at this moment, to be able to share with you the gospel and also explain what I think this gospel might have to say for all of us. This is a fascinating moment where Jesus says, no one knows the Father except the people who I have revealed him to. It sounds kind of exclusive, doesn't it? But then in his very next verse, he says, to everyone, come to me. You all come to me. So who does Christ reveal his good news to? Everyone, of all time. Come to me if you're weary. Let me help you. Take my yoke upon you. Learn from me. My yoke is easy. My burden is light. I was speaking this week with a friend of mine from Gannon, the Reverend Dr. Paris Baker. And we were talking about this notion of what does it mean to be submissive to Christ? And it's a very difficult question for all of us, to put ourselves in a place where we submit to something or someone else. Paris, of course, talked about it from the African-American black experience, where he said, we have been submissive. The blacks, African-Americans, have been submissive for centuries. He pointed out how ironic it was that so many Caucasians were so angry at not being able to get a haircut or not being able to get a tattoo that they stormed Capitol buildings carrying weapons. And he smiled and said, what do they think? They are not allowed to have that. And yet others in our culture have been rejected, have been restricted from rights that are theirs and have been theirs and should be theirs for centuries. And we talked about how strange it is that we are supposed to take a knee to Christ. And taking a knee is not something necessarily insulting or offensive, and it is certainly not anarchy. It is submissive. When I take a knee to Christ, when I take a knee to God, I surrender everything that I am in order to take on what God has asked me to do. And what does God ask of you from Micah 6:8? Act justly, show and love mercy, walk humbly. And what does God say that he wants from us in the Gospels? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Almost impossible things for us to do, it seems, in contemporary times. But that's where we take the knee. We take the knee to God, to do justice, to show and love the mercy that we show, to walk humbly, to love God with everything, and to love our neighbors as we wish to be loved. That can be a heavy yoke, but Christ says, no, it's not heavy. It's easy. It's so easy, it's almost impossible. How else can we show love for our neighbor? Wear a mask. Wash your hands. If you're sick, stay home. Protect one another. I wear a mask not because I'm afraid. I wear a mask because I love you so much. His yoke is easy. Submit, and you'll find that his burden is indeed light.